Okay, I wanted to get your reaction to something that Gene Deal said in a recent interview, and that was that it's a mistravesty of justice that Keefe D doesn't have a bail that he can afford, and that the reason he feels this way is he feels Greg Kading's fed information for Keefe D to repeat so that it would make Greg Kading's rich. And finally, he basically said eventually everybody's going to find this out and Keefe D is going to walk. I just
Yeah.
wanted to get your response to that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Attorney Gene Dill. Thank you for your input, law degree, law professor, Mr. Dill. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's because Gene's an idiot. He talks out of the side of his ass. He's just recycling stories for for views. Y'all keep running over there, so I love what he's doing. I don't blame you. I would be doing it myself if I could just sit up and tell the same stories. Because I could sit up and recap and put and make millions of views off of just playing Suge what he's saying, and then playing what Reggie done said 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I'll be like a fucking prophet. Because pretty much everything Suge is saying, a lot of things Suge said, Reggie has already exposed or said. Right? Y'all have heard it before. But what Gene Deal doesn't know is Greg was going to give him anything to repeat or regurgitate, it would have been something about the Biggie Small case. That's what Greg Kading and them wanted to solve. They did not want to solve no Vegas case. Could care less about the Vegas case. That's what Gene feel to neglect and to not realize. All right.
You know, Reggie, ever since the city situation happened and we've been covering it ongoing, it reminds me how important it is to have a good lawyer on your team. That's why I'm glad to bring to you Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They have over 1,000 attorneys operating in all 50 states, and when you are seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan don't settle for the lowball offers. They fight for every dollar you deserve if you become their client. Just recently, they achieved some significant verdicts for their clients, $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philadelphia, which is over 40 times the highest insurance offer. With Morgan & Morgan, there's no upfront costs and the fee is absolutely free unless you win. And it only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. If you've ever been seriously injured, your case can be worth millions, and you're only a few clicks away from finding out if you could change your life. It's easy to start your claim now. You can visit forthepeople.com/bomb, or you can scan the QR code with your phone's camera in the corner.
Okay, the inside job thing, who knows? I mean, it's bullshit. It's Keefe D and them know what they did. Everybody know what they did is from LA. But for a motherfucker that's sitting in 3,000 yards away in New York to know whether something's an inside job, that's just like all of y'all on YouTube. It's just a fucking opinion. All you new investigators, all you fucking Perry Masons and all of that that's in the YouTube comments. I'm not even going to argue with it no more. Law enforcement, the people that knows all the facts that deals with this, they have made a conclusion and they putting their reputation on the line. That means the DA in Vegas and the investigator in Vegas and the deputy DAs. So y'all keep arguing with them. Y'all ain't going to argue with Reggie Wright about that anymore. Now, this part about the bill. So it's the system's fault that he can't come up with $75,000 for a murder? $75,000? That's all that's needed, y'all. $750,000 is this man bill. Have you heard of anybody bill that low for a murder? In California, they give brothers $1 million bill for murders and all that. And once they see they about to be able to make that $1 million, they raise it up. But that's just the standard. You get arrested in California for a murder case, it generally starts off with $1 million. After that, it goes up. If they see, once you go to court, or they know that they have a good case or whatever. So I don't know about in y'all states or where y'all from, or the cases that attorney, investigator, or law enforcement officer, or what you really are, probation officer, Gene Deal knew in his experience was $750,000. 10% of that, $75,000 for a murder case is a fair and reasonable bill. Now, if he's saying it's a travesty to what happened with the situation with WAC 100 and all of that, well, who knows? It's obviously something fishy going on there. It's obvious. Something fishy was going on there. But answer this. There was a basketball player, I won't call his name out right now, that was also trying to bail Keefe D out. We know their money came from legit corporations, right? Each one of those 30, 32 teams, whatever's in the NBA, I think it's 30 NBA teams, all their money is legit, right? And those shoe companies and all of that. Well, why wasn't their bill, or why wasn't that money accepted as well? I don't know. There's something going on with Keefe and his family and the property, because nobody's putting up their property for him. And nobody's just going to put up $750,000 for him. So it's not that it's unfair about the $75,000. It's just that his wife is obviously, and I think they're just renting, but who knows? I don't know. I ain't read a title check. I don't do investigative stuff like this, like, Snitch No Joke and Gap Tooth and Carpet Head or Uncle Fester and all of them do. But if she wanted to put the house up to get him out, along with somebody giving him $75,000, he would have been out. But it's obvious nobody trusts him like that. So, hey man, Gene just over there recycling stories. He's, but he's getting his numbers and doing what he's supposed to do. I don't blame him. But you're not just going to sit up and try to muddy up the investigation over here while I'm still out and around. Y'all know I like to say I'm out because I like trolling you motherfuckers and say while I'm out and all of that. Reggie ain't going nowhere. Reggie is very confident. But we'll see. We'll be talking to all of y'all this time next year. And we'll see what y'all be saying then. Your time is coming, Reggie. You're next. I ain't Big U or Loose Cannon. Clowns.
Okay, just to follow up on Gene Deal, do you find it odd that, in some videos he talks about how someone walked up on the car, and then in other things he talks about how Zip was involved with Keefe D in that situation, and then now he's saying it's an inside job. Is it odd that the story changes, or is that kind of just how that goes with that? It's just an opinion, so it can always change.
If you listen to Gene, that's what Gene does. Gene, see, I used to work with Art, so I know how Art does it. Art kind of coaches you to where he want to take that video that particular day. And so he's just letting Art manipulate him like a puppet and playing him. And then they say, this is how we're going to say it this day. When you going to say the $1 million check today, you saw the $1 million check and all of that and throw that out. You're going to say this. This is just how they do it to keep the content going for YouTube and for views and for the subject of the day. As I always tell you, none of these motherfuckers believe what they be saying or reporting. They don't believe it. They just think of what fits nice in the title for their video for the day to get them some views so people could click. Because we all know this is an entertainment value, entertainment thing. Suge Knight, if y'all go listen on that video, he said, if I tell the truth and get factual, if I eat it on a video telling stories and said, because if I tell the truth and get factual, Diddy would never get out of jail. What you mean if you tell the truth and get factual? So you been lying? Hell yeah, that nigga been lying. He playing y'all like a motherfucking puppet. So I don't know if it's art that's a mastermind that's good with creating these stories, or if Gene and Suge and people like that, Reggie, has just learned how to work this YouTube shit to get views. And obviously it ain't Reggie, because I don't do as good as those two. Because y'all don't like to hear the truth. But you come to Bomb First, you know you get the truth over here, whether you like it or not. No hot sauce and salt and pepper over here. Just straight facts. Peace.